Am I on again?
You're
Okay.
on.
I think I'll say that every time. Welcome to our home again, 2 days in a row, and yet again in Oswego, it's minus 10 degrees, and I have to say it was
Fahrenheit.
Fahrenheit.
Yep.
Yes, there is a world out there. So quite cold. So good to be inside again, and we thought we'd answer some questions and all that were on the comments section.
Well, at least one question. So thank you so much for the comments and the thumbs up. We really appreciate it a lot. It makes my day. And Bark actually asked a really good question. So he made a couple of comments and questions. So I won't speak for you, but I understand that any and every breath I take can be my last. I make plans and designs and efforts and hope that I can see through them. I've been blessed to be able to do it for nearly 60 years. We just had a practical conversation this morning before we decided to write a $25,000 check on a new solar build, and before seeing our video. So congratulations on your plans, and that's a big thing. When we did our big solar panel installation,
You will not regret it at all, because
Yes.
I had little convulsions when we built ours and all the money
Yeah.
that it cost, but it's been worth it.
yes. I hope and plan on making that new solar bill happen, but my wife has the practical question of, what if I die tomorrow, next week, next month? She can't execute that plan. She is not me, and I am not her. I don't hug. She doesn't care if then scenarios, and program things to work on our property. Is Thea adequately prepared to execute and understand everything, and vice versa? Do I understand and all the things that she does? I know that this is a horrible train of thought, and you probably ignore me from now on, but this is where we are when coming across your video.
And I would say we're in exactly the same place right now. I guess we were kind of waiting until I retired, and now we're home and we can discuss these things. But it's come up with questions just like, you said, and I'm sure a lot of other people are at the same point, in their life. You think about your children and what they want to, as far as responsibilities from here, and oh my God, I can't leave this whole monstrosity, here and all the things, and dump it on other children. God forbid, we get in a car accident and we both pass away together. And all.
Right. Yeah, I've brought these subjects up for years, and we do have wills and those sorts of things, and I'll talk briefly about estate plans and those sorts of things, and I'll talk hopefully briefly about our investments and all, because recently we posted a video about what I think about investments and the different categories, the 10 categories of investments, and I won't rehash that today. But the other thing is getting to the essence of the question is, we're totally different people. I'm very analytical. So for those of you that don't know, I'm dyslexic. I learned to read when I was 28 years old. I had a very low self-image as a child, and that quote disability has never been a disability for me. It's actually been a sort of like a superpower in a sense. And I guess I have some characteristics or features of some people that we see in YouTube videos, things that are described, where my personality, I'm not, although I have empathy, I have a hard time with displaying emotions. I don't feel comfortable in groups of people. For years, the people that I went to school with or worked with would invite me to go to weddings or events or parties and all, and I always declined because I I can communicate effectively with one-on-one or in a lecture situation, but in groups of people, I don't feel at all comfortable. I feel drained, that sort of thing, where you're the opposite.
Yeah.
Do you want to
I'm
share?
like, bring on the people. Let's hug, you know?
Yeah.
So therefore, even basic things like, you know, if I die, God, you'll have to go grocery shopping and leave the house, and all. And think, like you were talking about, as far as if like one of us passes, I have trouble turning on the TV and everything. I mean, it's not like a switch in this house. There's umpteen controls. This is connected to this, that's connected to that. Everything's all integrated, and that's not my forte. So if Kevin passes, I'm kind of like going to have a harder time than if I pass, because you'll have to scoop the kitty litter and feed the cats and go shopping.
And they go right in the hole with it. No. So Thea's at the extreme end as far as technology from me. So our home is a smart home, and for years, long before Amazon and Google ever had their artificial intelligence, voice activated systems established, I had my own systems established in the house where when you walk into a room, the lights will turn on. And so I was always on the bleeding edge of technology. Our first smart home features were the GE ones, which no one even knows about anymore, years and years ago. In this room, we have 8 computers. And this is our master bedroom. And there's a reason for every computer. And I'm not talking about our cell phones or small little things at all. I'm talking about actual computers that do different things, and we have computers in all our buildings. So I am the ultimate geek, and Thea would have a very difficult time using any of these devices.
Just give me a light switch to turn the light on.
So
not be on a timer like the living room stained glass light.
Right. So the smart home features will get disabled if I die. That's the thing. It's we want everything. So I made videos about being a good designer, and that's my goal. Is ultimately, like, Thea is the ultimate example of someone that my aspirations for designing for is that sort of person, someone who has no technology, doesn't want to learn a new user interface, someone who just wants to go into a place and it's just intuitive and easy to understand, like the Model Y, like your car. Mm-hmm. Very simplistic, elegant, and easy to understand and safe and all this, and so there's no worries at all. So that's one of my goals, and I've made whole videos about designing. And so we're at different ends of the spectrum, and I haven't achieved that level of a user interface where it's just natural. And we're all getting used to using our phones, and the cameras on our phones nowadays are just amazing and all. And I know this is going off on a tangent a bit, but technology is rapidly evolving. It's amazing. What we've experienced over the last 2 decades is nothing compared to what we're going to be experiencing over these next 2 decades. So technology is rapidly evolving, and our home will become much smarter and much more capable of autonomously doing the things themselves, so that it won't have to have someone's input to deal with. So that's my goal for the future. But if I pass away before that point in time, everything can just be reverted back to being a normal home, so that you feel comfortable. Do you feel comfortable with that?
Yes, that's fine.
And there are many things, like our lives are intertwined, like Bark mentioned with his wife. We're trying to find that path of where we feel comfortable with where we're going over this next 5, 10, 15, 20-year plan. So I thought what I do is just, well, I guess the rest of the answer to the question from my perspective is there's so many things that Thea does that that would be extremely challenging for me, but I can adapt, I think. But the hardest thing would be that since I'm not a people person, I feel drained around other people, and please, people who've been here, don't feel offended at all. Where Thea feels energized by the presence of other people. That will be the hard thing for me. My dream or fantasy when I was a kid was to be Swiss Family Robinson, Blue Lagoon, whatever, just being in a remote location where I would just be with nature. That's what I always dreamed of. Now I'm a technology nut with all the things that we have here, and it's a totally different story. And we both have similar goals and aspirations for the future, what we want a legacy. And we'll make videos probably about those things in the future as well. Mm-hmm. And I have very strong feelings about what I want done with my remains after I pass away as well.
So he's going to make a video so they don't think that I'm mean.
Yeah, right.
He really wants to be put on the compost pile, but I told him that was illegal.
So we're researching some of the green burial techniques and all. I'd like to be left here on the property. A buddy come over, use the excavator, dig me a grave, and plant a tree on top of me. So there's legal things that we're going to have to go through for that to be able to be possible. We've had conversations with our daughter, who's the closest to us, and our grandkids as well. And even if both of us passed away, what happens to all the things that are here? And it's so much pressure for our daughter to think about. It's overwhelming, because I think her perspective is, look at everything you've done, all you've accomplished. I'm not capable of doing those things. And I don't expect, if I pass away, that there's any pressure that Thea or my daughter need to do a darn thing to meet my wishes or my legacy. My belief system isn't that I'm going to be up there looking down and judging. So whatever, if I pass away first, whatever Thea decides to do with anything around here is absolutely fine. So how do you feel?
That's fine. If I die, you have to take care of the animals, though. Of course, I'll haunt you from the other side.
Okay. All right. So let me see. Oh, I did want to. So I hope I answered the question. Do you think we answered the question Bart has?
Yeah, pretty good. I mean, I think if you, pass away, I'm just going to simplify everything here. And I would appreciate, he was talking about this morning making videos of things, so I at least know how to do some of these techie things in the meantime. But I just withdraw from all the major projects.
Yeah.
I would never leave this place. You had said one time, well, you just sell it and move to an island or something, and I said, I'm dying here. So this is my connection here. But I just pull back and simplify and trust in the universe that everything will work out, because I really believe thoughts are things. And where your thoughts go, your energy goes, and that's what ends up happening. So I put out to the universe that I'm dying at 130 years old, and at that point I'll reassess and see if I'm going to go longer. I see a lot of people say, oh, now I'm 60 or I'm 70, and my friends, and I said, stop saying that. You're putting a purchase order out there. So no matter what, I feel that if we put a thought out that we want to create such and such here on the property, or our health status is going to be such and such, then we'll be guided to go in that direction, and we'll pull that to us.
Right. Our thoughts are most powerful guiding lights. Those are the things that, where your thoughts go, your actions follow. And if you're always having a pessimistic image, well, then things aren't going to work out for you. So I'm one of those people who really believes in planning and all. And so what I did do, all right, so let me go back for a second and say, I think, so I've had a few different near-death experiences in my life. And my most recent one was in 2012. And that was a pretty severe one. I had to have part of my intestines removed, and I was in the hospital for a couple of weeks, and there was a prolonged recovery period. And so that was, and the other near-death experiences I just sort of like brushed off and thought, yeah, you can't kill me. And but this one in 2012 really made me think about, well, I've got all these other responsibilities and all. So I started doing some planning at that point in time for what's to come. So gradually during the winter months, when I'm not outside doing all the work out there, I'd be working on developing plans, estate plans and all, and putting together the things that are most important. And and when I had COVID 2 years ago now, I had a very severe case of encephalitis, and that really worried me a lot because I lost a lot of my cognitive and memory storage abilities as well, which I really depend on, being dyslexic and having the things I've always had this amazing capability of processing and storing information.
Now you're like us normal folk.
So that too was another stimulus for me to create a to-do list when I die, so that Thea has it and a go-to to-do list for me. Do you have your list there? You want to read?
Yes.
So I got this from, I think it was an estate attorney who did a YouTube video or whatever, and so I took notes. And so, but I don't remember who the person is. I'd like to give them credit. And I modified it since then to meet our needs, but this is sort of the general one. And Theo would just read the main bullet points.
Yeah, it looks like there's 14 of them. So this is good. So I thought that, we get one of our many binders and put, when passes away as the title, so that, we have it for each other, what to do, because you're going to be emotional and not be able to think so well at that point in time. Or if we both go at the same time, at least our daughter knows, oh, this is things that you better consider.
Easy. And these should be modified for every individual, and I think everybody should have this. This is entitled After Death To-Do List. Okay.
That sounds funny. Yeah,
yep.
Okay, so one is order 15 to 20 duplicate certified death certificates, which I thought was kind of crazy until they, explained that every bank and everybody wants proof. Number 2 is notify the local Social Security's office of a loved one's death. 3 is if the loved one was in the military or another governmental agency, you need to contact the Veterans Administration office of the deceased. Medicare, you got to let them know.
Well, Social Security, once you let Social Security know, they will notify Medicare, but you just want to cover every aspect.
Right, and then they go into explanation,
Everything has explanations under this.
Yeah, I'll show you. It's very pretty. Okay, number 5. Check into any potential employment benefits. Was there a pension, a credit union, or a
insurance,
or union death benefits? Number 6 is notify the health insurance company or the employer about the death of the family member. 7 is notify life insurance companies about the death. 8 is other insurance companies, contact them. Let's see, number 9, a list of outstanding debts and bills, mortgages, auto, etc. And 10 is inventory the estate of the deceased to determine what assets were owned at the time of death. So, CPAs meet with the banks, etc. on that. Then 11, close the credit card accounts of the deceased. And all these places are going to ask for that certified death certificate. That's why you need 20 of them. Number 12 is contact the credit reporting agencies like Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. 13 is contact motor vehicle department and cancel the deceased driver's license. Good idea. 14, close emails, website accounts, including social medias like YouTube, Facebook, etc. And 15, I said there were 14, there's 17 here.
Yeah,
There's
a few.
3. Cancel memberships and clubs and organizations, like fraternities and those kind of things, it says here. 16, contact the CPA/accountant to prepare individual and estate tax returns. And lastly, contact an estate attorney to handle the legal issues relating to the death of your family member. So who would have known there'd be so much to do once someone passes away?
I think there are 3 more that I thought of that I did in our modified one. But I lost a lot of those when I had my most recent computer crash. But like professional organizations, like we need to notify our, and there's licensing agencies as well as DEA, those sorts of things. So there are additional things if you own, if you have an LLC, those as well. And I don't think you read through those. And each one of those topics has all the steps that you need to go through. So that shows you one of my approaches, trying to research and find a to-do list, if you will, of when somebody passes away, these are the things, and you just modify the to-do list to include, all right, these are my social media accounts, these are my brokerage accounts, this is my accountant, this is my accountant's number, this is the attorney who has the last will and testament. And with that, one of the things I worked on is we have lots of 3-ring binders, and I don't know if this is showing up at all. So, there's, first page is actuary tables, how long people live, whether it's a male at 65 who's married or who based on income. So there's all those different things. But I have also here a table of contents for our estate portfolio. And so basically the first page is the table of contents, second page is revocable living trust, then a trust transfer documents, pour over will, property power of attorney, healthcare power of attorney, advanced healthcare directive, and these are all state specific. The HIPAA privacy authorization form, a living will statement, several copies, and it must be brought to the hospital as well. Document of possessions, annuities, IRAs, things that have beneficiary designations. Location lists, where everything is located, the safe deposit box, files at home, all of those things. And there's categories underneath that is that. Instructions for the executor, successor, trustee, beneficiaries, heirs, agents, names, powers of attorney, and a glossary of legal terms. And I know I updated this since here, and it's someplace inside of here.
So it looks like we have a lot to do before springtime planting.
Well, the thing is, like, this is such an important topic that Bart brought up, and I think that it's so important. And I knew about these things when I was a young man, and I thought I was invincible. And I've had several cases where I could be gone. And Thea's had a couple of instances as well. I mean, cancer survivor, the horse reared up over on her, and I thought she was gone because she was crushed underneath the horse.
Reared up, fell on top of me. It broke my saddle, and I had a mild concussion. I had a hard head on, so that was good. But yeah, crashing the car into on a highway, that was
An
another
abutment.
one. Yeah, yeah, yeah. There's several things, but I guess I
So,
decided to stay.
yeah. So, we never know when our time is, and the thing that I would say, sort of my summation of this, instead of the estate plan, the to-do list, and all that, is it's the most important thing is being happy, and being happy and healthy, and that's super important to me, and the acceptance that once you're happy, you feel content, you feel fulfilled, and you don't need something else to fulfill you. I think everything turns out wonderfully, no matter what ends up happening. When we lose someone we love, it is devastating, and we've both been through those experiences. But the ultimate goal is happiness and feeling fulfilled and feeling content, feeling satisfied. And our lives right now are pretty much feeling pretty fulfilled, happiness, not needing drugs or alcohol or food or well, Thea still needs her chocolate, but
That's a given from birth.
so that's pleasure, not happiness. So they're feeling happy and content and living a life that's fulfilled is the ultimate goal you've achieved. The ultimate level that you want to be at is how I look at it. I mean, just being able to walk out here, and even if it's bitter cold, me going down to the beaver ponds, and spending time down there, even if I don't see any animals at the time, I just feel very blessed and very honored, very privileged to have these opportunities. And if Thea is to pass, it will be hard. It will be very, very difficult. But the chances are that I'm going to survive, and I will find my way to happiness. And I'm sure it's the same with you.
And I think we should, prepare like on the lists, so that who's ever left behind or children or whatever, they're not stressed. But I think no matter what age you are, if you desire something, like us, the nursery thing, or buying solar panels or whatever, go and do it. Whether
Yep.
you're 60, 70, 80, 90, just do it, because why stagger your opportunities with what ifs, because what if could be tomorrow, like you say, or what if could be years down the road. But I'm like, the heck with the wall, tear down the wall, go ahead and go for whatever your heart says or you're drawn to do. No matter what age you are, just do it.
Yeah. So we're back again. We went on long-winded.
We were very babbly, and we said before we started we wouldn't do that, but
Yeah.
oops.
So anyways, the final point that I want to make is do what feels best to you, which will create happiness and all. You're not obligated to live by anyone else's standards. Do the things that you find so fulfilling. Happiness is so important. If you find yourself needing to get pleased by exogenous things to get your dopamine surges, that may not be the best for you in the long run. And do the things that make you feel happy and healthy.
And follow your heart if you're at a crossroad. Lots of times our mind will say yes, but ignore it. Follow the truth inside.
That's right.
My words of wisdom.
Yes, very wise woman. All right, folks, we're going to close it at this point. Thanks for bearing with us if you did stick all the way to the end here. And I hope you stay safe and have a wonderful day.
Take care. Nice to see you guys again. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, folks.